All right, let's jump right in. What do you think is the single most important chemical reaction on the entire planet? Here's a hint. It's not something cooked up in some high-tech lab. No, it's happening right now, all around you, on a scale that's just massive. And without it, our world would be nothing more than a barren, lifeless rock.
Seriously, just look around for a second. Go on, look out your window. I'm willing to bet you see something green, right? A tree, a patch of grass, maybe a little houseplant on the windowsill. It's so common we don't even think about it. But have you ever really stopped to ask the big question, why? Why is our world so incredibly green?
You know, that green color, it isn't just for show. It's not decoration. It's actually the signature of a massive, silent engine that is always running 24/7, powering our entire planet.
And the answer to that big why, it all comes down to one single, kind of elegant and honestly, an absolutely mind-blowing process.
And that process, of course, is photosynthesis. I mean, at its core, you can basically think of it as the magical ability of plants to, well, to eat sunlight. Seriously, they take the raw energy beaming down from millions of miles away in space and turn it into real chemical energy. Basically, they make their own food.
So the big question is, how on earth do they pull this off? Well, the process is actually surprisingly simple when you break it down. Just think of it like a recipe, a cosmic recipe really, with just 3 main ingredients.
Okay, ingredient number 1, and it's the star of the show, sunlight. Now, this isn't a physical ingredient you can hold, right? It's the pure energy. It's like the heat for the oven, the spark that kicks the whole thing off. Next up, ingredient number 2, water. Pretty simple, right? Plants are usually just drawing this up from the soil through the roots. And water is absolutely essential. It's like the transport system, but it's also a key player in the chemical reaction itself. And for our final ingredient, we have carbon dioxide. Yep, that's right, the very same stuff we exhale with every breath. Plants literally pull it right out of the air around us through these tiny little pores in their leaves. So just think about that for a second. You've got sunlight for the energy, water to move things around, and carbon dioxide is the basic building block. That's it. With just those 3 simple things, nature has everything it needs to create the very foundation of life as we know it. Okay, so we've got our ingredients all lined up. But where's the kitchen? You know, where does all this amazing cooking actually happen? Well, for that, we're gonna have to zoom in, like way, way in.
Because the real magic, where light literally becomes matter, it all happens on a microscopic scale. So let's imagine for a second that we could shrink ourselves down and take a trip deep inside just one single leaf. What we would find in there it's just incredible. A leaf isn't just some flat green thing. No, it's more like a bustling city, packed with millions and millions of tiny, solar-powered factories, all humming along in perfect harmony.
And these little microscopic factories, they have a name. They're called chloroplasts. These are the little powerhouses inside the plant cells that do all the heavy lifting. They're filled with this pigment called chlorophyll, and that's the stuff that actually absorbs the sunlight. And by the way, that's also what gives plants their signature green color. Okay, so here we are, inside one of these factories. The sunlight is pouring in, the water and CO2 are arriving. So what is this microscopic assembly line actually making? The end product is, well, it's pretty astonishing. This tiny factory turns pure sunshine into sugar. So here's how it works, in a nutshell. First, the chlorophyll acts like a tiny solar panel, soaking up the sun's energy. Then, the plant uses that raw power to do something amazing. It literally splits water molecules apart, an incredible feat of chemistry. And in the process, it releases oxygen. Then, in the next step, it takes all that captured energy and uses it to create a brand new molecule, sugar. So let's just do a quick tally, right? On one side, you've got the inputs, sunlight, water, carbon dioxide. And on the other side, coming out of the factory, you have the outputs, glucose, that's the sugar, the plant's food, and a little something extra it releases into the air as a byproduct, oxygen. Now this glucose, this sugar, from the plant's point of view, that's the whole point of the exercise. You can think of it like little packets of stored sunshine. It's the fuel that lets the plant grow taller, sprout new leaves, create flowers, to live its life. Okay, great. So plants make sugar to feed themselves. Good for them, right? But why should we care? Why is this the most important reaction on Earth for us? Well, it's because the stuff the plant throws away, that's what makes our entire world possible. See, it's not just about the sugar. When you take the outputs from that one tiny factory
and you multiply it by the trillions and trillions of leaves on every plant all over the globe, well, that's when you see how it has fundamentally changed our planet and made complex life, like us, possible. I want you to do something for me, right now. Just take a deep breath. Okay, about 21% of the air you just breathed in was oxygen. But where did that come from? It's the waste product from photosynthesis. That's right. What plants basically throw away as trash is the very gas we absolutely need to survive. It's staggering.
When you boil it all down, photosynthesis gives us three incredible gifts. First, as we just said, it creates the very oxygen we breathe. Second, it's the foundation of pretty much every single food chain on the planet, turning sunlight into energy we can eat. And third, by sucking up all that carbon dioxide, it acts like a global thermostat, helping to regulate our climate. I mean, just let that sink in for a minute. It doesn't matter what you had for lunch today, a salad, a sandwich, a cheeseburger, the energy in that food, you can trace it all the way back to some plant somewhere that captured a sunbeam. So in a very real, very literal way, every bite you eat and every breath you take, it's all powered by the sun.
So the next time you're out and you see a simple green leaf, I hope you'll remember what you're really looking at. It's not just a piece of a plant. It's a perfect, tiny, solar-powered engine, one of trillions just like it, that make up the great green engine that drives life on Earth. And that really leaves us with one final, pretty important question to think about. If our entire existence, everything we are, everything we do, depends on this quiet, elegant process, what's our role in protecting it? What's our responsibility to the plants, the forests, and the oceans that run this incredible global engine for us, for free?